Welcome back in to Talkin Tech. Home team Brandon Leak, the College Football Hall of Famer, all-time leading passer at Georgia Tech, College Football Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, Davey O'Brien Award winner, All-American Joe Hamilton. Sean Nerny, we are here, and we're talking Tech. First, we have to get to what happened last. When last we saw the Jackets, not really good, not really fun. They only put up 2 points. Too many turnovers leading to points. That's the kind of stuff that has to be cleaned up, because even if you aren't going to win a lot on Saturdays, you still want to have fun. Those are the things that don't make football fun on a Saturday.
Yeah, you're not there yet. You're not there as an institute, as an organization, as a program that you can go on the road against a roster like Temple's and turn the ball over twice in the red zone and have another turnover return for a touchdown. 6 points. You can't overcome those things. You don't have the depth, and by the way, you can't overcome the injuries that has depleted your team offensively, definitely on the offensive line. But there are some things we can improve on, and I want to see. It is high time now for us to establish a quarterback, in my opinion, Sean Nerny.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, it wasn't all negative. It was a great start for the defense on Saturday. They get the early pick in the end zone, get the ball right back over to the offense, and then follow that up with a couple 3-and-outs. Now, Temple, they didn't look their best either early in that game. They had some sloppy penalties as well. But, yeah, the defense kept you in the game. But the story is, I mean, yeah, the 2 points. I mean, I know Tobias Oliver, he fumbled going into the end zone. That took points off the board for you. He had another fumble later in the game. But you're right, Joe. And the thing that just stands out to me more so than anything else is he just doesn't look comfortable back there when he looks down the field and is trying to find a receiver. And when he does start to scramble a little bit, those eyes go from looking downfield to looking for a hole to try to get yardage. So I'm right aboard here with you, Joe. It's time to where, you know, Jeff Collins and company pick a quarterback. In this case, I think you need to give James Graham a start, because you saw the way that he was able to at least look more comfortable when he was throwing the football in the second half and late in the second quarter. So I'm right aboard with you. We got to get a quarterback here.
And I don't think you can or have to can the offense that you're trying to run now with James Graham in the ball game, because to me he is a dual threat quarterback. He can spread the field with his legs. He can run the bootlegs and the waggles and do those type things and throw the ball on the run. And oh, by the way, when his back foot hits, he's not trying to get out of the pocket. Tobias Oliver, as soon as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he doesn't care what's happening. He's going to try to roll out. He's going to try to step up in the pocket. And now you're not giving a fair evaluation to the offensive line and seeing how they're gelling, coming together as far as pass blocking.
And you're not giving a full evaluation of James Graham either, because by the time he got into the ball game, you were already down by a couple scores. And it pretty much abandoned the run game at that point. So it was really just Graham dropping back and throwing a whole bunch.
I was going to ask you guys about that. If you do see that, if we do see that, is there an opportunity for James Graham and the running game to soften the blow, to get some points early? I think the biggest thing for the Jackets is to try to find a way to get on the board early. That way, even if you do have a couple of miscues, you already have something that can still keep you in the game. It's when you're not scoring, fumbling into the end zone, turnovers, and having scores run back on bad ball security issues. That's when you get out of a game. Running the ball, maybe a switch at quarterback, are those things that are at least approachable as you get ready to go into North Carolina and take on North Carolina.
See, home team, I've changed wholeheartedly. I mean, you're talking about a 180. I've done a 360 on, you saying scoring early and you're saying points,
right,
and staying in the game. It's not about wins and losses for me anymore. And it hurts my heart to say that, because I'm a competitor and I want the Yellow Jackets. You know, I predicted going to a bowl, winning more than 3 or 4 games. It doesn't look that way now. I'm a Debbie Downer. Can I go to sleep at night? Yes, I can. But now I'm looking for the game within the game. Increments. You know, how are we doing this week? How are we practicing? Does the O-line look a little better? Are we getting any sacks? Are we getting any first down? Moving the ball just, you know, periodically. Not necessarily scoring and winning. And the only way you do that is giving guys a chance. I'm not caring now if it's 1st and 20 because second and 20 because we had a penalty. I'm not caring if we throw 3 interceptions in a game if we're giving one guy an opportunity, because you're developing going in to what you want to see down the road, and then you can go into the house of a recruit and telling this guy what you're seeing on film is what we're going to be running when you get here, but you're the guy that we need to help get that done.
Yeah, absolutely. And to take that, a step further, you're talking about, not being about wins and losses this year, looking more towards, next year is, you don't want to say that because you got seniors and upperclassmen on the field this year.
You're right.
You'd like to get them wins, but we all know going into this year, it wasn't about wins or losses. So that brings me to this point. You have 4 games to use on these freshmen before you can redshirt, right? They can play up to 4 games and you can still use the redshirt. As we get closer towards the end of the season, if we are looking to, get better a year from now, do we see the true freshman quarterback, Jordan Yates, the dual threat guy, state title from Milton High School a year ago, do we see him at some point this season under center getting some reps going into his sophomore or redshirt freshman season?
I don't see why not, Nerny, because at this point in time, you should be grooming somebody else to be above the line.
Right.
He said he doesn't have a scout team. He has a developmental team. So all those guys should be, acclimated to what Coach Partnow, the offensive coordinator, wants. And when you look at the grand scheme of things, that goes on with the transfer portal as well. Do you have the guys on your roster going forward? Are they disgruntled? Do they see themselves playing in this system? Are they happy? So now going forward, even in the North Carolina game, that's the ACC, recruiting, how the fans are going to show up. What do you have to offer? Because to be a happy, alumni of the Institute, there's a way we go about playing this game. And if you play with passion, you're still fighting for each other, and you empty the tank for 60 minutes, we can live with the results. All that being said now, beating yourself, we don't want that, but we can live with the results that it's a rebuilding year and laugh at us all you want right now, but we are heading somewhere with this process.
Getting to the business at hand, taking on North Carolina. They felt like they were right there to knock off the Clemson Tigers, the defending college football playoff champions. They played very well. They played very well defensively. What are some of the things we would like to see going up against a team who felt like they were this close to knocking off the champs?
Well, personally, I'm kind of hoping that they got beat up a little bit in that close loss to Clemson this past weekend. Maybe a little bit of a letdown game, much like we had against the Citadel. Maybe UNC's in that mindset. We'll see if Mac Brown has his guys like that. But it's going to be tough. I mean, they're a tough team up in the trenches. You saw them compete with Clemson. So really, let's just assume that it is James Graham getting the start, and he is going to try to throw the ball early in the game. It's going to have to be getting the ball out of there quick. It's going to be a lot to the flats. Maybe you try. The one thing that I did like, the fact that you did get a slot guy getting down the seam early in that ball game. Tobias Oliver hit him. Maybe look for some more seam routes because going straight at these guys, physical versus physical is going to be tough this weekend.
Yeah, and they're starting a freshman quarterback, and you look for Coach Collins' defense. He likes to disguise, press the corners, and we all know that up front that the North Carolina Tar Heels are going to try to maul the Yellow Jackets because the size differential. And can you eliminate the turnovers? Eliminate the turnovers and absolutely make the North Carolina Tar Heels beat you, go up and down the football field and score points. Don't hand them anything.
And one quick note, this just coming out over the last hour or so. Jalen Camp, receiver for Georgia Tech, has been just went under the knife for surgery this morning or yesterday. He's out for the rest of the season, so that doesn't necessarily help your passing game.
And on that note, we'll see if the Jackets can get it done this week.
Next man up.
Next week. That's right. It's another opportunity for a guy to get some work in. We'll be back next week. Make sure you listen to the game on the Fan 680 93.7 FM. It's a situation where the Jackets need all of your support. Also, sister station 1340 is where you can also find the Jackets on your radio dial. For Sean Nerny, the College Football Hall of Famer, Home Team Brandon Leak. We'll see you next week. Talkin' Tech.